Welcome back to the studio, guys. Today we are taking a look at the upcoming Chery Tiggo 8 Pro, a bold step up market from this Chinese brand which only recently re-entered the South African market. So I was quite surprised by the response to my Tiggo 4 Pro video. You'll find a link to that in the description below. But it also looks like Chery South Africa itself was surprised by the immediate sales success of the Tiggo 4 Pro in South Africa, and so they've brought the launch date of the big brother Tiggo 8 Pro forward, and they've also added a couple of dealerships. So they're now on 42 dealers, which is a very nice dealership footprint in South Africa for a new brand. But what exactly is a Tiggo 8 Pro? Let's take a look. The Tiggo 8 Pro is essentially a rival for your Korean 7-seat crossover. So that's the Kia Sorento, the brand new Kia Sorento, just recently launched in South Africa, as well as the Hyundai Santa Fe. Now, compared with the Hyundai, it's about 6 centimeters, so about that much shorter than the Santa Fe, also slightly narrower, but it is a little bit taller. Now, it features a very luxuriously trimmed cabin and loaded with tech. So the flagship model has no fewer than 3 high-resolution TFT screens, for example. I think you'll agree with me that the new Tiggo 8 Pro is quite a handsome vehicle, with crisp, modern lines and lovely detailing. South Africa will get 2 derivatives, and you can expect both of those to feature 18-inch wheels, LED headlamps and daytime running lights. Chery has already confirmed that both the models that will be offered in South Africa will have features such as an around view monitor, 8-speaker sound system and dual zone climate control. Based on what is offered in overseas markets, I also expect the flagship derivative to feature heated first and second row seats, a full 360-degree camera system, as well as a panoramic sunroof. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay will also feature, with 2 USB outlets in the front and another for second row passengers. Now, both the Tiggo 8 Pro models that will be on sale in South Africa are powered by the brand's 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine. Now, this is an engine that delivers 136 kilowatts and 290 newton meters of torque, and this is where I start to get a little bit skeptical, because this is a big vehicle. So a lot of the performance will ultimately depend on how well this engine is mated to the 7-speed dual clutch transmission and how that is calibrated. But still, Chery claims a 0 to 100 time of 8.9 seconds, which is decent enough for a vehicle of this size, and a top speed of 185 kilometers per hour is also more than enough. Where it gets interesting again is in terms of fuel consumption. Now, overseas I've seen mixed consumption figure, so that's your sort of average consumption figure of 7 liters per 100, which I think is very optimistic for this kind of vehicle and this size of vehicle. But the proof will be in the testing, I guess. Let's see. Now on to a crucial question, pricing. Where will the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro be positioned in South Africa? At this point, not many people know. I suspect only Chery South Africa themselves know. So the best I can do is kind of speculate, and I'm basing my speculated price range on looking at where Chery Tiggo 4 Pros are priced overseas and comparing that with South African pricing, and using that ratio to calculate sort of a rough ballpark price for the Tiggo 8 Pro in South Africa. And when I do that, then I get to a range of between 450,000 Rand to about 600,000 Rand. And they're going to launch 2 models, and obviously the pricing will depend on what spec levels they're going to go for. But I think what Chery South Africa would want to do is to be seen not only as a rival for the far more expensive 7-seat Korean crossover SUVs of similar size, but also for Haval's very fast-selling H6, particularly because potentially Chery can offer the 7-seat Tiggo 8 Pro at a similar price to the 5-seat Haval H6. Now, a few years ago, I think it's fair to say that South Africans would have laughed at the idea of paying more than 500,000 Rand for a Chinese SUV. But the game has moved on, and the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro is not the first Chinese SUV to enter this sort of price arena. Haval's H9 is actually priced closer to 700,000 Rand, but that's more of an old school off-roader SUV compared with the Chery. Now with the Chery, I think what we have here is a far more affordable alternative to the 7-seat crossover SUVs from Kia and Hyundai, and those start at 800,000 Rand for base spec cars. And that in a nutshell is the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro. We'll see how it all plays out pretty soon. Chery South Africa has promised a launch date for the first quarter of 2022 in South Africa, and that, seeing as it's now mid-February, can only be a few weeks, perhaps even just days away. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro, and thanks for watching. Cheers!